now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got done watching Jay and Silent Bob Reboot! This is a 2019 film that was written and directed by Kevin Smith, and I'll be honest, I was a little nervous going into this movie because the last few Kevin Smith movies I have hated. I've hated with a passion. Here's a guy who put out some pretty cool, decent comedies back in the day, relatable comedies, to more recently doing some out there, sure, different and original, I guess, but man, I didn't know what happened to him as a director. This movie, though, it is going back to his roots. He is going back to what brought him to the dance with the Jay and Silent Bob characters. Is it too little too late? Are they too old to be doing this shit? Well, yeah. But let's talk about this movie. The plot is you see Jason Mewes as Jay. You see Kevin Smith as Silent Bob. The two of them find out that Hollywood is making a reboot to Blunt Man and Chronic. So this is really just regurgitated the same plot of Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. And they just go on a road trip. They have to go to Chronic Con to stop this from happening. Once again, the same exact plot from an old movie about 20 years ago. They're making fun of the tropes. There's a lot of meta humor and meta jokes about how lame this is, to take old things, to rely on nostalgia, how lazy Hollywood is to regurgitate old films and whatnot. And I get the joke. The joke is that, hey, this is what Hollywood does. And hey, ironically, this is what we're doing. But it's going to be good and funny because we're pointing it out. And for the most part, a lot of the jokes here are a little underwhelming. They fall flat. There's a lot of jokes that are awkward, and I think they almost take the time to pause and wait for us to laugh, but we're not laughing as much, so it makes those scenes awkward. They brought back a lot of characters and actors from old Kevin Smith movies. Let's go through the list. It's a long, long list of people. Justin Long, who after Tusk, I'd honestly be okay not seeing him in another Kevin Smith movie ever again, but he was here. Shannon Elizabeth, who I haven't seen since American Pie 4, but she's still around, and she has, you find out in the movie that her and Jay, they had a love child from back in the day, although she's now married and kind of doing her own thing. She's actually married to Rosario Dawson, which is kind of hot, but let's not talk about that. So you find out that Jay's daughter is played by Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith's real-life daughter in real life, so that's not awkward. I'll be honest, Harley Quinn was a good actress. I mean, I thought she was pretty good in the movie. I feel like you could say it's nepotism. You could say that, hey, all he does is just put his daughter in all of his movies, and maybe you find that annoying. But I saw her in these scenes, especially some moments where she's upset about not knowing her real dad. I'd said, hey, you know what? I could see her in a much better movie with much better material and see her maybe having a halfway decent career. Hell, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Quentin Tarantino, so that's saying something, isn't it? Also, Jason Lee, who you know from Mallrats and kind of almost every other Kevin Smith movie. Matt Damon showed up in a quick, almost catch-up from the movie Dogma, and that was a real surprise to see Matt Damon. I know Matt Damon did a bunch of his old movies, and so maybe it shouldn't be a surprise, but for me, I just thought Matt Damon was just in Ford versus Ferrari. He's been a big actor last few years, but it was cool. It was cool that he came back. He didn't forget where he came from, and he had a really funny moment, a moment that I enjoyed. But speaking of surprising, Ben Affleck does show up, and maybe this is spoilers, me listing all these people that are in it, but I'm pretty sure if you saw the trailer, you probably know about some of this stuff. Ben Affleck's scene was probably my favorite scene because it was a callback to Chasing Amy, the movie, my favorite Kevin Smith movie that he's made, but also just the scene itself. He did poke fun at his Batman history, and so that was quite nice. Red Man and Method Man. There was a lot of How High jokes. That movie, How High. I've never seen that movie. Maybe I would like it. Maybe not. I don't know. But of course, Cheech and Chong, Jay and Silent Bob, How High. A lot of these weed movies, I guess, make sense to all reference each other. But by the time they get to Chronicon, by the time we find out who's playing the reboot of Blunt Man and Chronic, I was curious which actors they would get to play them. Because the last Jay and Silent Bob movie, you had Mark Hamill in it. You had Carrie Fisher in it, so it was kind of cool. I wanted to see what they would do. You get Val Kilmer, formerly from Batman Forever. And Val Kilmer, man, I know he's had cancer. I know he's gone through some shit recently, so I feel bad saying this, but woof, he's looking rough nowadays. And yeah, I know, I'm an asshole. But Melissa Benoist plays the female version of Chronic, and she's from Supergirl. He knows her from directing episodes of Supergirl. It was nice to see her out of that comfort zone of playing this heroic hero that she always plays. She did curse a little bit. She was a little edgy, so that was kind of nice. And maybe the biggest actor, though, that somehow, some way agreed to be in this was Chris Hemsworth. Yes, Thor himself had a quick part that was actually somewhat funny. So, look, overall, this movie, it's just the same road trip film that we got from before. It's a lot. It's building off of the nostalgic moments. If you're a huge Kevin Smith fan, if you're a big Jay and Silent Bob fan, you might get some moments and jokes and enjoyments from there. A lot of the humor I thought was lame in some ways, and other ways I thought it was funny and smart. It's a mixed bag. You might not find it funny, or you might find it really funny. I'm somewhere in the middle. Maybe a little more towards the negative side. I don't know. If I had to rate this is a tough movie to rate because, I mean, I guess I'll give it a Netflix and chill.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, if I'm being nice. But going to a theater, yeah, this isn't worth going to the theaters, honestly. It's a decent time waster at best. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. What do you think of it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Do you agree with me that it's just okay? Do you think it absolutely sucks? Should he stop making these movies, bringing these actors back? I don't know how he got some of these actors back. Maybe it's because he almost died a year ago. Yeah, that would help you get some A-listers. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!